Okay. This morning, I think time is far spent, and I'm just going to have a short conversation with you. So I would like Blessing to give us choral music, a short choral music, and then we'll continue. Amen. Just for those who will not understand the vernacular, the song says, God, you are my shield. God, you are my very present help in time of trouble. When a host rises up against me, I will not be afraid. Because you are with me, I know you will deliver me. Amen. Blessing.
Good morning, church. Today, like my father said, I'll be singing Ma Kochem Yami.
Makochem Nyame, hallelujah. Shall we pray? Father, indeed, you are our shield, and you are very present help in times of need. This morning, I need you to speak through me, and we need you to give us listening ears, O Lord. At the end of the day, let Jesus be glorified. Amen. The last 4 weeks, back to back, we've had powerful messages. Amen. And so I'm just here, especially given the time. I don't know what the time is. I'm just here to give a short exhortation, or I just want to have a conversation, a short one with you. Hallelujah. And let me title this conversation, Life's Journey. Hallelujah. Life's Journey. Obrona Quintu. Beloved, life is a journey. Unlike a journey, a trip, or for that matter, the word trip as a noun, is an act of moving from one place to another, usually for a short period of time, and returning. Hallelujah. But a journey is a long distance. A long distance. May I suggest to you that life is a journey. A journey all of us have to embark on. Whether you are white, black, brown, rich or poor, educated or not. Hallelujah. Some say the most important part of life's journey is its beginning. Because the belief is that if you start right, you are likely to finish right? It's a conversation, so let's talk back. If you start right, you are likely to finish right, isn't it? Yep. And some also believe that the most important part of the journey of life is the end. Because like the saying, it's the end that justifies the what? Right. So the belief is that it doesn't matter how you started, whether rightly or wrongly, as long as you get your desired result, as long as you get to the end of the destination, that's all that matters. But beloved, life is not just a journey of the beginning and the end. Yes, life is a journey that has a beginning and the end on the other side. But then there is also the in-between stage. Hallelujah. I figure some of us are caught up in the in-between stages of life. The in-between stage is where you look at yourself and you say, well, Uncle Bna, I'm not too old. I'm not old, right? Yet I'm not young either. The in-between stage is where life throws reflections of all the missed opportunities in your life. Whether your failure to develop yourself well in your youthful days in order to have a meaningful and sustainable career for yourself in future. Or whether as a lady, Mrs. Frimpong, a lady or as a woman, the regret of turning down the proposal of a promising young man who came your way, but because he didn't have a car, as long as the man didn't come to you tossing a bunch of keys in the air, you couldn't accept him. Sadly, since that last man, since you turned him down, nobody has asked you out yet. Now you've heard that person is married and doing well in life. And now you are saddled with a regret. If I had known, I would have said yes to Emeka. If I had known, I would have said yes to Santo or Okala. The in-between stage of life is where in your heart of hearts, in your secret heart, you pray, God, oh, that you give me the chance to correct all my mistakes I've done growing up. Lord, if I got opportunity to do it all over again, I would do it differently this time. If I got opportunity, wow, and if I had to go to a high school again, if I had to go to a college again, I would take my studies seriously. If I had opportunity to be a child again, how I would have listened to my mother, how I would have listened to my father. But seems the more the wishes, the reality dawns on you that, hey, you can't turn back the hands of time. It's gone. This morning, I just want to encourage you with the words of the Apostle Paul in Philippians 3:13. He says, brethren, I don't count myself as apprehended. But one thing I do, I forget what is behind me. And I press on, and I reach forth to what is ahead of me. Beloved, if you can stay on this life journey and make it to the end, you better let the past be and focus on what is ahead of you. Hallelujah. Again, life is a journey of many intersections. On the road of life, you will see many intersections. If you step out right now at the intersection right before us, you'll see a small signpost that says, this is Quadrangle Drive and Lillicash, right? If you go further south, you'll meet one that says, another intersection that says, this is Lillicash and Illinois 53, right? Further north, you get to a place where another intersection that says, oh, this is Illinois 53 and 83rd Street. So is the way of life. Hallelujah. Life journey has many intersections, and I call these intersections facts about life. Facts about life. I just want to share about 2 or 3 facts about life with you. The first fact about life is that life is war. Our elderly folks say, Obraya Obazi. Obraya Okon. Sadly, our children, they don't even know what Okon is. Oh, I've just remembered something. The other time, we were coming to church and we were late. And I needed to pass by a bank. So on our way, I asked my children, check whether the church live stream has begun, if it started, right? And then I heard one behind me saying, so I asked, one shall see? And the one behind me said, one shall see. One shall see. So I said, one shall see in your body. I don't know what was. And then I thought for a moment, I said, oh, these children of nowadays, they think in English. Me, I think in Fanti. They think in English. So it's as if I was asking, are they started? What starter? And in thinking in English, they've not started. And so one started, one shall see. So funny, these days when she calls me, and the first thing I say, one shall see, then she begins to fight with me. Hallelujah. Nasha, one starting, nothing that. One starting, nothing that. life is indeed war. Because all life forms, right from the beginning of creation, have been competing with each other for one thing or the other. Either humans against non-humans. All life forms have been struggling for one thing or the other at any point in time. Whether for fame, whether for position, whether for resources, whether for space or territories. Not long ago, we were there. Is that Sister Laureen? I see somebody. Is it Laureen? Oh, wow. God bless you. Not long ago, life is war anyway. Not long ago, we heard that Ukraine, a country sitting somewhere minding her own business, another country sending troops to her border. And people were alarmed and say, these people are going to fight these people. Oh. And the response of Russia was that we are not going, don't listen to what they are saying in the news. We are not going to fight them. Do you remember? They said we are not going to fight them. The sad thing is that at a point in time, I heard somebody from Ukraine saying that even when the international community was, sharing intelligence with them, that Russia is going to fight you. Somebody from Ukraine was saying that, I heard the person saying, oh, you are not here. As if to say, you are not here. You are US. We live here. They are our neighbors. They are our cousins. There's no way they are going to fight us. Yet the next morning we woke up, Russia had attacked Ukraine. Hallelujah. Now, regardless of the politics and the propaganda and the history behind what is happening, it's an undeniable fact that Ukraine was minding her business. And somebody decided, hey, I'm going to fight you. Why? Because I want what you have. You see how life is? It's war. So, Mommy Ruby, life is war. I like what you have. I want to have you. I want to have your people. I want to have the territory all to myself. Beloved, if you will survive on this journey of life, you better have a thick skin. You better have an attitude of never give up. Sadly, a lot of us give up in life too quickly. Even more sad is that we give up at a time when our breakthrough is in the corner. Wow. I read a story of a man in Colorado during those days where there was gold rush. Gold rush, the period was when usually there will be discoveries of gold in certain locations, right? And miners will move their resources to those areas just to mine, dig and get gold to make fortune out of that. And during this time, there was a certain man who marshaled his resources to that area. It was because there was gold there. Digging and digging, he dug and dug and dug and dug. No gold. So I guess after many days of not discovering the gold, after many weeks, he decided to quit. And so he sold his equipment to another person. The other miner came, the one who bought the equipment. He started digging right from where the other man stopped. So he had dug all the way here. The second man started from where he stopped. And the engineer of the second miner told this miner that, hey, the gold we are looking for is just 3 feet. 3 feet away from where this man stopped. This man has been doing the work, investing resources, his time, his energy, dug and dug and dug. 3 feet. Just when he was about to hit the gold, that's when he decided to stop. Beloved, I pray that God would deliver you from any manipulations that will keep you from reaching your goal. And I know what I'm saying. There are people who work in an organization, they'll give off their best, everything is going well. Just when the top management decides that we are going to promote this guy, that's when voices begin to speak to the person. Is that it's time to move out of this company. There's nothing in here for you. Go, move. And they leave. Just when the promotion letter was coming, was when they tendered it in their resignation. There are some who will be in America or UK, work, until they begin to hear voices. Go to Ghana. Go to Nigeria. The voice keeps coming. One day before, he knows he had packed his bag and he's in Ghana. And all of a sudden he comes to himself. Why am I here? I've left everything there. It seems I don't even have the opportunity to go back. Beloved, there are manipulations. And I pray that God would deliver us from such. Amen. Life is war. Another fact of life I want to share with you is that life is full of ups and downs. Hallelujah. Life was full of ups and downs. I'm sure, Pastor D, if you had your way, you want life to be so smooth, so easy, constant, straight, no bend, no curve, right? You want to have it easy. All of us, everybody. But beloved, that's not how the journey of life is, and doesn't work that way. Life is sometimes like a roller coaster. It has the ability to launch us into space. And we are happy. We are joyful, celebrating wonderful moments. And we wish it will last. Yet in the next moment, it plunges you into sorrow, regrets, and sorrows. Sometimes when you are there, you think yours is the worst of them all. You think you are the most disadvantaged. Until you see somebody whose situation was worse than yours, yet with fortitude and sense of purpose, tenacity of purpose, would push through until they had a rebound. Life will not be easy on you. No way. Sometimes you hear people say, life is not fair, isn't it? Is life fair? Is it? You don't know. Sometimes. Okay. Everybody has his opinion. Somebody says, life is not fair. You do good to people, they repay you with evil. Your business was doing well until you decided to introduce your friend to your partner in Dubai. The partner who has been supplying the goods on credit, you sell, you take your profit, you give it back to him. Now you introduce your best friend to this, your partner. After weeks, your partner will not pick your calls again. And one day you get an opportunity to go to Dubai, you sit the partner down. And you realize that friend of yours has been painting you black to this partner. And now that friend has become the agent of that partner. And you are left out. Sometimes in your attempt to help somebody, you get disadvantaged. Now, I'll tell you. I remember Many years ago, when I lived in the UK for a short time, I had a certain job through a Ghanaian who was a manager of an agency. And so that job, they paid me, it's been many years ago, so I don't remember the exact figure, but it was around £6 an hour or £650 an hour. And so there was this man whom I used to visit his church, used to play for them. One time this man said, I need a job. And so I said, why? Why not? I'll tell my supervisor about you. And so I spoke to my supervisor about him, and I gave the supervisor's number to this man. Beloved, one day the supervisor called me on job and said, he mentioned a name that's different from the name you know me with. Hallelujah. He said, mention my name and said, come here. You see, the man you spoke of came. When I told him the hourly rate he was going to receive, he told me that you told him that you receive £6.50 £6.50 an hour, right? But you know something? You were wrong. You shouldn't have told the man your pay. But I was innocent. Hallelujah. Later on, I realized that even though I was just a normal worker, I was being paid the rate of a, excuse me, a supervisor then. Hallelujah. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. I was being paid the rate of a supervisor. Hallelujah. So the man told me, he said, you, Ima, oh, what a different names. I wonder when God sees us in heaven, what name should he call us by? Oh my God. But he knows your name anyway. Hallelujah. It's a father who knows your name. He said, Ima, you shouldn't have mentioned your rate to this guy. All along, I have known, my wife or my partner has also known that you collect the same pay as us. We are the supervisors. You collect the same pay as we do. Later, I realized that, it means that God gave me a favor before that manager who employed me. And probably he may have spoken to these supervisors about the situation. So they knew. You see, God, there's always a way God will sift you out. I'm telling you. I have many experiences. What's in seminar, right? We have different experiences. So I was a normal, but I was receiving a supervisor's pay. And so he said, it was a mistake. Beloved, the next time my pay check came, it would drop to £5 or £5.50, just like anybody else. So life, sometimes in your attempt to help somebody, you get disadvantaged. Because of time, I don't want to even discuss our text. But, you see, Elijah, give me time, please. Elijah, what time is it? 12:32, okay, right. Elijah had killed the false prophets of Baal. And when Jezebel was told about this, she was angry, threatened to go after Elijah, and Elijah ran away for his life. Beloved, on life's journey, there will be so many attacks. There will be many things that will run after you. Hallelujah. But if you stay resolute, if you stand with Jesus, you pull through. There was a hymn that says, it pays to serve Jesus. Hallelujah. It pays to serve Jesus every day. It pays every step of the way. Though the pathway to glory may sometimes be drear, yet you'll be happy all the way. Hallelujah. It means on this journey of life, There will be rough patches. There will be tough times. There are times you wonder, is it worth it staying on this journey? Why don't I turn back? But the songwriter says, though the pathway to glory may be drear, yet you'll be happy all the day. It means that the joy of knowing Jesus as your Lord and Savior. These days, we hardly even mention the name Jesus in churches. I've watched and I've observed it. If I'm lying, tell me. We even hardly mention Jesus' name in churches. I'm not saying here, right? Churches, you don't hear Jesus' name. But the joy of staying focused and sticking to Jesus. His countenance, the radiance is so bright and shining off to make you see your way out the dark parts of the journey. Hallelujah. You see, this marriage of yours is just like a journey within the journey of life. Hallelujah. I know sometimes you wonder, why am I still in this brother's house? Why am I still living with this woman? Why am I still here? Especially when this brother has shown me from all indications he doesn't love me anymore. And he doesn't hide it. It's so clear. He doesn't love me. So the woman complains, how can I live with a man who never touches me? How can I live with a man who doesn't see me? And you know, women want to be seen, right? Mrs. Frampon, you always want to be seen. Ivy, Sister Ivy, you want to be seen. At a point in their life, like you ask your mother, why aren't you dressing these days? He says, oh, well, who am I dressing for? It tells you they always want to be seen. At least let my husband recognize it. I also got it. Hallelujah. I also have whatever everybody has. Even when I dress, he'll never say, you look good. Never. In the same way, sometimes a man touches the woman. And the woman says, oh, Jam. So last week, I tried to wrap my arms around her neck. And she nearly broke my arm. What are you looking for? Jamahau. Now, if you live with your husband this way, what are you doing? Don't you think you are pushing him into the arms of another one? Or you think your husband is infallible? I'm being hard a little bit, but listen. We fail to tell ourselves the truth oftentimes. The church ought to be a place where healing takes place, whether in marriage or any other. Your husband touches you and you are angry. Just a touch sets confusion between you. I'm afraid. When I was a child, and I'm speaking about right here, touch in marriages under the journey of life. Hallelujah. When I was a child, I must confess, one of the things I didn't like about my mother was a constant touching of her children, either on the shoulder or on the arm. I must confess, I didn't like it. At a point in my life, I lived with my father. Anytime I went to see my mother, or anytime I saw my mother in town, I had to expect that no matter what, I can't escape the touch of this woman. I can't escape it. And so, he'll be talking to me and say, Joe, how are you? And funny, Joe, I mentioned Joe, right? Joe, see, in my life, there have been only 3 women who mentions my name and is weighty. Somebody is saying, what are you saying? I know what I'm saying. 3 women. Everybody mentions my name, Joe. It's normal. But 3 women. The first was my wife's contender, my mother. When she mentions my name, there was something to it. I wish I could preach this on Mother's Day. But there was some touch to it. Hallelujah. So she mentioned, Joe, how are you? So many years dead and gone. Yet I remember how she used to mention my name. Isn't it powerful? And so she'll be talking with me. And before I knew, her left hand was reaching out to touch my shoulder or my arm. Beloved, what am I saying? You see, and all this while, I never understood it. Because, you this woman, since our childhood, you're always touching your children, touching us. Now, I'm 16, 17, 20. Yet if you see me, you are touching me on the shoulder. Why? Later on in life, I understood there was a mother's touch. Hallelujah. A mother's touch of love. A sense of belonging. This is mine. If I could protect this guy, I'll protect him any way I can. That's a mother. What am I saying to you? Simple touch in marriage works wonders. There are some of us men who, I don't see many men today. Where are you guys? There are some of us who live with our wives as if the wife is a kakai. Do you know what a kakai is? Nasha, you know what kakai is? You don't know. The only time the man would touch the woman is when he wants to go to Takwa, right? Yes. But if you treat a woman that way, she becomes numb to your advances. After what? Is that not what you are going to do? Do it. I'm all here. I'm all for you. Do it. Look, I'm telling you the truth. Sometimes, do you know, I'm not too sure the percentage, but I could be wrong about it. Meaning I could also be right about it, right? That a percentage, just a little fraction of why people leave churches or the church is due to bedroom issues. Because the church failed to handle it well. The early church had a way to deal with these things. But in our time, the Google and internet day, even if you tell your problem to somebody now, the next day it will be in the internet. Everybody will hear about it. So why do I tell somebody my problem? Beloved, I had much to share with you, but time will not permit me. Beloved, let's live with our wives well. And the sad thing is that sometimes the woman too, she dresses well to church. She dresses well to the work or to the mall. But at home, she's always putting on unattractive, straight dress, as if she's a monk or something. And when the man sees this, all the fire in him is gone. Beloved, it is not everything that grace will do. There are some things grace will do for you. There are others you have to do for yourself. You must determine to make this man my man and my man only. Hallelujah. Whatever you have to do to ensure that hallelujah, you have to do it. Have him there in your clothes. Have him there. Nobody can take him away from you. Hallelujah. The same with a man too. Sometimes the sad thing is that, let me say this before I close. There are times, you see, it's a joy of every man to rise and walk. Man, do you understand the revelation? That man is, yeah, I do understand. It's a blessing for a man, as a man, to rise up and walk, right? You understand? But are you? You do. I know you do. But in case for some reason you cannot rise and walk, because sometimes pressures of life, sometimes worries and cares and job and work can crash you down, I suggest, please see a doctor. It could be a psychological one. Secondly, I suggest see Pastor D, see Pastor Wari. Let them pray for you. Hallelujah. And whilst you are waiting to be able to rise and walk, don't forget that it's not the end of the world. There are other ways you can lead her on. Hallelujah. Do you understand that? Have you don't laugh on me? There are other ways you can make sure you lead a woman to ecstasy whilst you are waiting to rise and walk. Hallelujah. I know sometimes it's hard, these things to say in church, but please, people are suffering in homes. And I don't just get up and speak. If he impresses on me, I will say it anyway, whether you are comfortable or not. Because it is intended to save maybe 2 people in the room, myself and somebody behind Uncle J. We shall continue this conversation another time. But, brothers, remember, life is a journey. It doesn't matter what you are going through now. Please don't give up. Don't stop digging. Keep digging. Keep digging. For in about 3 feet away from where you are, you might discover the gold. God bless you.